Moana 2, aka the Disney Plus series that never was. That's right, this film was originally going to be a show on Disney's streaming service, but at the 11th hour was transformed into a theatrical release instead. The results? Yeah. But hey, what do I know? My theater on Tuesday at 2 p.m. was packed with families. So I guess Disney wins yet again. The original Moana, released in 2016, was a hit. A huge hit that has remained popular ever since. The story, enjoyable. The characters, fun. The music, catchy. And the animation is delightful. Just a great Disney movie across the board, and one that remains extremely popular ever since. So it's no surprise to see Disney wanting to continue said success with a sequel. It's just disappointing that what we have here is the salvaged remains of a streaming series that never had the intention of being a film, and it shows. Like, the amount of not talking comedic side characters in this movie is off the charts. You're supposed to get like maybe 2 max. That's the quota. Tangled with the chameleon and the horse. Pocahontas respected that rule too. They had the hummingbird and the raccoon. Hell, they even had a dog. How about Aladdin? The carpet. And hell, give him a monkey too for good measure. But here in Moana 2, we got not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5. The pig, the chicken, the ocean, the coconut thing, and the tattoo. Good God, leave some for the rest of us. There's more to the story of why Disney made the change from series to a movie, but as far as the final results go, well, we'll get to that here in a bit. In summary, I'm disappointed. Like, critically, this movie has issues. From the story beats and edits alone. You can tell we're watching something that wasn't originally made to be a film. The pacing is an issue. The lack of character development is an issue. The third act, an issue. And Maui's song? Oh, gamers, rise up. It's time to level up, actually. I could only think about The Rock and his cringe rapping from that Faceoff song.
It's about dick, it's about penis. Men are from Mars, but I'm from Venus.
But before we get more into the movie, 2 things. 1, spoilers ahead. And 2, gotta pay the editors, it's sponsor time. Helix Sleep. Now, you've all been watching my videos for a while now, and some of you deserve a pat on the back for doing that. So you know that when it comes to these videos, we've been very outspoken about how much we love Helix Sleep. That is because Helix mattresses are one of the top dogs when it comes to premium mattresses, which are customized to fit your needs and are conveniently shipped to your door. These mattresses come shipped in a box, so no specialized delivery men are required. And who really wants strangers coming into our homes anyway? I sure don't. The inner introvert in me trembles. All you gotta do is lug this box into your home, pop it open, and watch your mattress form into existence. And with free shipping in the US, you'll never pay a penny to have your mattress show up to your doorstep. School ain't over yet, folks. Time for a pop quiz. From Helix, the quiz is from Helix. Take their sleep quiz by yourself or with a partner to find the perfect mattress for you. They have solutions for every unique sleeping habit, whether you're a stomach, back, or side sleeper. For me, I'm a side sleeper, so I got paired up with my Midnight Lux, and I've had this mattress for a while now, and boy, let me tell ya, this mattress still feels as good as the day it exploded out of its box. These mattresses hold up and keep my restless nights at bay. And with a wide range of mattresses to choose from, no one is left out of a premium sleeping experience. With over 20 different mattresses to choose from, you can be paired with their Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections, or the Helix Plus for big and tall sleepers. There's even the Helix Kids mattress, endorsed by sleep and medical experts. And if you're worried about buying online, well, you're not alone. Trust me, rest easy knowing that Helix offers a 100-day sleep trial. So you can try your mattress for up to 3 months to make sure that you love it. Also included are a 10-year warranty and flexible financing options, so you can come back to a mattress that you know that you will love. So if you're ready to make an investment in premium sleep, then head on over to the link in the description box down below. Or go to helixsleep.com/Saberspark. to take advantage of their Black Friday sale and get 25% off your mattress plus 2 pillows for free. And you'll also receive a free bedding bundle when you order a Luxe or Elite mattress. Thanks again to Helix for being a sponsor of our channel, and now back to the video. Okay, so out the gate, Moana is a big franchise for Disney. Usually if Disney strikes gold with a franchise, you start to see results with merch and theme park attractions and character meet and greets and licensing and sequels. If not, then I'm sorry, you are The Good Dinosaur or Strange World. I don't make the rules, it's just the way it is. Also, Disney found itself in a weird place with Disney Plus and the challenges of COVID. The theater industry was in complete disarray during the Great Plague, and streaming blew up because of it. Remember when Encanto came out? It was huge on Disney Plus, but only Disney Plus. But now that life has somewhat returned back to the status quo, theaters are back in business, and thank God. Because Doom Part 2 and IMAX changed my life. Though I have to say, watching movies with strangers can either be an amazing experience or the worst one in my life. So Disney is kind of like at this awkward fork in the road. How can it spin the plates of theatrical releases alongside with streaming? Well, I guess by releasing the movie in theaters first, bag that box office money, and then release it on Disney+. Though I got to say, for Moana 2, I haven't seen too much marketing for the movie, so it might underperform, but that's a fat chance. I don't think so. The original is so popular that the nostalgia and brand recognition alone might be enough to get the job done. God, what a weird timeline we live in. Take me back to 2015 with Undertale. But hey, at least despite all the terrible things that happened this year in 2024, the popcorn bucket game has been like amazing. I'm gonna get me that popcorn battle hammer with the new Lord of the Rings animated movie and smack people upside the head with it who talk during the screening of the film. That's not fiction, that's a threat, I mean it. That all being said, to recap, the original Disney Plus series was turned into a film instead to combat the 2023 labor and writers' strikes. It was a similar situation with Mean Girls 2, the horror film Barbarian, and Alien Romulus, as they were all also intended to be released on streaming, but pivoted to theaters instead to compensate for the lack of wide-release films in production. Additionally, there's more of a push for merchandising, as well as impressions, that straight-to-streaming movies tend to be forgotten shortly after they're released. AKA, the original Moana was the most streamed movie of 2023 across all streaming platforms, at 11.6 billion minutes watched. The movie is 107 minutes long. I did the math. It was streamed over 108 million times. Their last two ventures with Thanksgiving releases like Wish last year and Strange World in 2022 flatlined. And they clearly needed a surefire hit, so pivoting it over to a movie instead makes the most sense financially. Honestly, it seems like Disney is just leaning hard into remakes and sequels right now. And looking at their stock price, which is a solid barometer to go off of, the decision to do so with forecasting has paid off for now. As far as competition goes for Moana 2, there's Wicked, but that doesn't seem like too concerning in my opinion. I think the audience demographics are different enough. Thank God, if I saw any theater kids in Moana 2 singing, I would have hit them with the popcorn bucket. The hammer one. I want that hammer. Now, it's kind of crazy, though, that the Moana series was announced in 2020, but so little was known about it except that it was being made and that it was called Moana, the series. How creative. Oddly enough, this pivot of the series into a movie is kind of an old tradition for Disney sequels, as they've done this before. You got Hercules, Zero to Hero, Belle's Magical World, Atlantis, Milo's Return. So in an odd kind of way, this is a return to form for Disney. Another big thing to note is the change of leadership and staffing with Moana 2. Instead of the legendary director duo of John Musker and Ron Clements, who are responsible for directing The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Treasure Planet, and The Princess and the Frog, We now have 3 directors instead: David Derrick Jr., Jason Hand, and Dana Miller. A big shoes to fill there, especially with the series to movie pivot. Lin-Manuel Miranda is also missing on this one too, as he was already working on the music for Disney's live-action Mufasa prequel coming out soon. God have mercy on us. Still, his lack of involvement isn't an immediate issue, but it's definitely something to take note of, considering how well that original soundtrack did in sales and on streaming. But hey, at least Disney Animation Studios was involved in the making of Moana 2. Say what you want about the movie, but the animation is fantastic. Nothing mind-blowing, but extremely well done. Also, we got Jennifer Lee, the Disney Animation president, who states they moved Moana 2 from Disney Plus to theaters for story reasons. Quote, "We constantly screen our projects, even in drawing phase with sketches. It was getting bigger and more epic, and we really wanted to see it on the big screen. It creatively evolved, and it felt like an organic thing. Supporting the theaters is something that we talked about. We love Disney Plus, but it will go there eventually. You could really put it anywhere. But these artists create stories that they want to see on the big screen, and that we want the world to see on the big screen." End quote. Now, this feels especially cruel to state after all the original Pixar films got relegated straight to streaming during the pandemic as sacrificial lambs. Like, those stories apparently aren't deserving enough of the big screen treatment. Ah, okay. Gotcha, Jennifer. Obviously, this is enough of a red flag in its own right. But I had to do some digging to see how things got this off the rails, pivoting from a series to a movie. According to a lengthy article with Entertainment Weekly, Moana's voice actor had already done a ton of recording sessions for the show. So when she was brought back in to record new dialogue, she described the whole vibe as a kill your darlings approach, meaning story beats that might have previously been more satisfying that took place over the whole season, and side characters that actually had more development, and their own songs were scrapped and rewritten for the sake of advancing the story. In the article, director Derrick Jr. states, quote, "It all has to answer Moana's drive, or Moana's conflict, and seeing it through her eyes. The new characters don't get their own tangents, but we were able to figure out who they are and boil them down to how they serve the story." End quote. Spoilers, they did this all within like the first beginning of the second act for these Islander side characters. Like in a song, no less. They aren't terrible, but they are superfluous at best. But we'll get into that here in a bit. Additionally, Moana's voice actor Instagram post about the last dialogue recording date for this movie was on June 26, 2024. This really leads me to believe that at least half of this movie was crunched to hell because another of their highly anticipated sequels, being Frozen 2, also had a lot of late production issues. That movie had such bad story problems that were only dealt with roughly 6 months before the premiere that it really leads me to believe the same thing is happening here. All in all, the circumstances that led to the theatrical release for Moana 2 are concerning to say the least, and most likely put a lot of limitations on the creatives who had to roll with the punches to stick the holiday release landing. No matter the critical reception of the movie, we always have to support the artists and animators who are working like hell to do their jobs under ridiculous deadlines. And as far as the mouse goes, yeah, I'm talking about you, Mickey. Well, I'm about to let you know what I think right now. I am Mickey Mouse. I am your god and your creator. No! No, god damn it, no! Okay, so what's the movie about? Just as a quick recap, the first Moana is about Moana, the daughter of a chieftain who rules over Montanui, a thriving Polynesian island. They don't venture far from the island because the ocean is dangerous, but Moana feels the call of the sea. Long story short, the heart of Te Fiti was stolen by Maui, the demigod. Years later, a destructive plague will eventually devour Moana's island, unless she finds the heart and returns it to Te Fiti. She meets Maui along the way, has a fun adventure, runs into Shea Frillis, and returns the heart to Te Fiti. Good movie, and also a great entry into Disney's run of successful films during the mid-2010s. That was a good era, like really. But hey, at least we got Zootopia 2 to look forward to, right? It's on the horizon. Furries, rejoice. Now we got Moana 2. Going into the film, I thought this should be interesting since the original story was written for a series and was adapted into a film. Because making a movie is very different compared to a story-driven show. So yeah, I knew we would run into some issues. Moana 2 is about Moana trying to find this sunken island. That if they raise the island, they'll be able to connect the fragmented people of the ocean. Moana has a crew that includes Himbo, short-haired girl with a hammer, Boomer, Chicken, Pig, and the ocean too, I guess. God, what a powerful ally to have the freaking ocean on your team. Along the way, they run into the Mad Max coconut people again. There's a giant clam monster. There's a villain who's not really a villain? At least I'm not sure at the moment. Maui, of course, who rejoins the team. And then they fight a storm and lift the island. Also, Moana dies. Except she doesn't, because the movie's called Moana, so of course she lives. And then the people of Oceania are reunited. Hooray! Oh, and we get a mid-credit scene with the bad god who was behind the storm that tried to prevent the island from being raised. Definitely got some Marvel post-credit energy here. And Tamatoa shows up too. But I feel like that was some fan service, or at least that's the case for the moment. So what are my overall thoughts about Moana 2? Out the gate, the music is superior in the original. Now, that's not to say the music in the sequel is bad, but it's not nearly as memorable or catchy. The original had Shiny, You're Welcome, We Know the Way, just excellent across the board, and iconic to this day. But for the life of me, I cannot recall a single song in the sequel except for Maui talking about leveling up, and that's not really a compliment. The music was serviceable. That's really it in my opinion. Maybe the songs might grow on me over time, but I doubt it, cause I was singing the original Moana songs to myself as soon as I left the theater. And that isn't the case for the sequel. Maybe Alexander Hamilton can write the songs for the next movie, hopefully. For the record, I realize that many of the issues that Moana 2 has is due to the pivot from series to movie, but that does not mean I can't bring up my observations. For example, there are far too many characters in this movie. In a series, we could and probably would have explored them more. But due to the limitations of a movie runtime, they were sidelined. Hey, sorry, maybe next time Boomer Grandpa or Emo Coconut. For the story beats, they played it safe. Intro fun song. The main character, I want this, I want that song. A villain song, kind of. I will say this though, that Bat Lady was cool, but I was surprised how we did not really see her again in the movie. When the third act started, I thought it would be a fake out climax. But no, that was a wrap on the film. Additionally, there are a lot of returning characters here, and primarily sticking to the we gotta explore the ocean and Maui is here too vibe. Also, there's an angry god who is a force of nature again. Clearly, Disney wanted to play it safe and work off of what worked before. If all Disney wanted for this movie was to be a crowd pleaser, I think they got what they wanted. Moana has a little sister now, so it gives her a sense of duty and love and protection. Also probably makes little girls watching the movie think, what if Moana was my sister? I better buy her merch so I don't hurt her feelings. Also, what worked in the first film? The coconut people? Well, they're back. Here they are again. They're a popcorn bucket. Now, I got really excited for a second when we saw the sea monster. I wish we could have gotten more of that, and less of this screaming goat joke that Disney just can't seem to let go of, despite it being dated. This fish screams, and it's that stupid goat sound effect that was in Thor 3, I think. It actively makes me cringe whenever I hear it. Truth be told, my expectations were low going into this film. And halfway through, I was like, okay, all right, this isn't terrible, and I'm somewhat having a good time. The first act was very solid, but a bit tight though. I did notice some pacing issues. It felt too quick. Like when Moana's grandma shows up, I bet that would have been a longer moment if it was the series, something a bit more heartfelt. But for the film, it was like, hi, goodbye, later. But the rising tension of the second act, along with the group reconnecting with Maui, felt anticlimactic with the third act, which again felt very rushed. They go into the storm, lift the island, and Moana dies. I'm just kidding, she's totally fine. Also, the island nation people are here too. I guess they were just kind of floating around the island waiting for someone to blow the horn or something. For a wave finder, Moana, you're not good at using your binoculars. So overall, the story was simple, safe, and very familiar to the beats of the original movie, and what made it iconic. As always, I wanted more with the villain, and for a second, I thought we would get that, but I guess we have to wait for the third movie, or so I am led to believe with the mid-credit stinger. Now, the dumb optimist in me hopes that the third movie will reach greater heights, but without the limitations of needing to salvage a series. There's obviously something good here, and the world of Moana can be a lot of fun, but they need to lean more into the sea monsters and the demigods to really punch it up. Hell, bring in Godzilla. He's probably kicking around somewhere in the Pacific. Have him fight Moana. I'd watch that. In conclusion, Moana 2 was a functional and serviceable movie that I'm sure general audiences will enjoy. Parents and their kids will have a good time, they won't second guess the movie, and for Disney, that's enough. Well, along with making hundreds of millions of dollars. But that remains to be seen, though I'm very certain that will be the case. That mouse just somehow manages to win, and has been doing so for over a century. From a production point of view, it is wild to me that Disney was able to successfully change the course of the series and pivot over into a theatrical release. Though I have to wonder how many animators and artists put in the time to make this possible. I'm hoping they were compensated for their efforts and were not overworked. But with the current state of the industry, I really doubt it. Disney, please do not make this a habit. But for Moana 2, my final verdict is one of being whelmed? Yeah, I'm whelmed. I had low expectations going into the film, knowing the circumstances that led to this theatrical release. But it was functional enough to be a movie. Yeah, that's the benchmark we're aiming for here. Is it a film? Yes? Well done. The story was simple, the characters kind of forgettable except for the ones established in the first film. The songs were also forgettable, and I walked away saying, well, that was a movie. Here's hoping that Disney can build up some momentum going into the third movie, because there will absolutely be a Moana trilogy. It ended on a cliffhanger after all. Maybe something to do with the United Island Nations of the Pacific fighting the gods alongside the help of the demigods. Like a league of villains versus the people. That could work. That could be good. Just give me some f***ing Disney villains, please. We got so close with Tamatoa, and it looks like there's a pulse here. Just commit to the bigger picture next time and really deliver on what made these Disney films incredible to begin with. I truly believe the Moana franchise has what it takes to make good on that potential. Though, a live-action movie does give me some doubt. I guess we'll just have to see what happens next. But what did you all think of Moana 2? Was it a solid film? A dud? Incredible? Tell me down below in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.